Hi, today I am going to be offering a flow that is great for athletes like cyclists, runners, etc. Maybe folks that don't have such a traditional yoga practice in place. Several poses that really open up into the hips and the hamstrings, and not a lot of super complicated movement. So this is really an all levels flow. We will be doing some hip and hamstring strengthening as well as opening, as I'm a big believer in engagement and building some heat in those muscles helps to also open them up. Frequently as well, there's this idea that tight muscles are because they've been overused, but there's also the reality that tight muscles are weak muscles. And so if we can strengthen those muscles, we'll help alleviate some of that tightness that you are experiencing. So to begin, we'll come into child's pose. This in and of itself is a hip opener. Knees wide, toes together behind or underneath the bum, and you'll walk your fingertips long. If you have blocks, go ahead and grab them. They can be helpful. Thick books can work as well. If this is too much for the knees, for the hips, you can actually come into a puppy pose with the hips over the knees and the fingertips walking long. Center of the forehead is down. And start to even out your breath. And here I'm going to come back to that child's pose variation. So before we begin, tapping into a smooth and even breath. On your next inhale, rise up to a tabletop. Elbows stacked right over the wrist, shoulders right over the elbows. So a nice clean line here. Hips directly over your knees. We'll do a couple rounds of cat-cow as this informs our movement in our spine. Chin lifts, tailbone lifts. Exhale, round the spine, draw your belly up and in. And just 2 or 3 more of those with your breath. I love these to begin with as well because it helps link breath to movement. This idea that at the end range of motion, we're at the top or bottom of the exhale, inhale. And then pause here in neutral. Draw your belly to your spine, again, making sure that you're stacking your bones. We'll gently lift into this left leg and take some circles with the left knee. Just loosening into that hip socket and just picture the head of the femur rotating inside of the pelvis. And then from here, let that left leg hover. We'll just inhale, take the left leg out. Your range of motion may be a little lower. It might be here. Maybe you have more flexibility and strength than I do, and you're able to get the leg parallel. But we're just going to do 5 of these. Exhaling, lift. Inhale, back to the middle. 3, 4, and 5. Release that left knee down, and then we'll take the right knee out. 4 and 5. Lower the right knee down. From here, we'll inhale, take a twist, bring the right arm to open out to the side, up to the ceiling, and thread the right arm through. From here, option to add in a little opening in the inner left thigh. Extend your left foot long to meet your right hand, and you can tent your left fingertips here. Find a little twist. For me, I experience a big stretch in my left IT band when I do this. Inhale, we'll press into the left hand, come up, maybe add in a twist, keeping that leg long. Release your right hand down, draw your left knee to meet your right. And from here, inhale, take your left arm long, and maybe you're in a space like I am that's rather tight. If that's the case, you just adjust on your mat. Fortunately, I'm finding space right now, but right leg is extending toward my left foot. I'm tenting this right hand on the mat, finding a twist, breathing into this. Plant your right hand, inhale, twist up, open, release the left hand, draw the right knee back in line. From here, we'll take our stance a little longer with the hands, walk the hands forward. I want you to shift forward, draw your right knee to your right elbow, and take an active pigeon pose. So you're in this pigeon shape with the legs, but we're not going to collapse down. I want you to press your right shin down, press the top of your back left shin down. You should feel a great deal of engagement in the outer right hip here, and potentially a big stretch in the front left hip flexor. So breathing into that. pretty intense. And again, this is a little bit of that heat building and strengthening that we're working on while we stretch, particularly early on. So I love a engaged muscle stretch here. We're going to take one more inhale, find that lift, and then on an exhale, release the hands down. Now, option a little core strength, press into the hands, tuck the back left toes. My left leg is lifted, and then I'm just going to press and hover this pigeon shape. If that feels like too much, you can skip it and just meet me in that tabletop. From here, we'll take the left knee, drop the left ankle over to the right, and then just walk your right toes back, coming into that active pigeon shape. Left shin's pressing down, top of your right shin's pressing down. You're lifting up through the torso. The pelvis feels light because of all the engagement in the thighs. Breath is full and deep. And again, that option for the added core work, tuck the back right toes, your right leg fires up. You'll press into your hands, cat your spine around your spine, and lift, hover that pigeon. We'll step back to a high plank. Option to hold this or press straight back to down dog. Here in down dog, bend your knees deeply, let your head and neck go. Heels probably won't reach the ground, particularly if you haven't been practicing consistently, and that's fine. I'd like to see you actually keep the knees bent deeply, take the hips high. Root down into your hands, spread your fingers wide. Inhale, look forward and walk your feet up to your hands. And when you do this, I want you to really engage through the low belly. Halfway lift, find length in your spine, and then exhale, fold. Your arms release heavy. And then inhale, rise all the way up, reach up, and I'm kind of out of the frame here, but it's going to have to be okay today. We're going to exhale our hands to our heart. We're going to hold that forward fold a little bit longer, as that's a really nice hamstring stretch as well as a low back stretch. So inhale, reach up, expand up. Exhale, bend your knees deeply as you fold over with a flat back. Keep the knees bent. And we'll take 5 full breaths here. So really work to let your head be heavy. This creates some traction along the upper back. Rock some weight into your big toe mounds. You can even place your palms to face up or grab elbows here, boxing around the head. Inhale, come up halfway, and then exhale, plant your hands, step your left leg straight back. Drop your left knee down, top of your left foot flat. And we'll stay here in this low lunge shape for a few cat-cows. So same with the spine, but now we've split the stance. You'll inhale, bring the collarbones forward, open through the chest. Exhale, round, chin down. Inhale, look forward, lift. Exhale. One more, inhale. Exhale, round. And then inhale, press down through the top left of the left shin and the front right foot. Rise up for Anjaneyasana, so a low lunge shape. Really big stretch for the front left hip flexor. Very much part of the unit of the hip and an area that gets particularly tight for most people. Keep breathing here. And then the energy is slightly forward, yes, to get that big stretch, but we still want to be grounding down. Take one more breath in, and then on an exhale, press into your front right foot, shift your hips back, micro bend the right knee and fold. This is where your blocks may come in handy underneath your hands, and then I want you to let your head and neck go. So 5 full breaths here. Inhale, walk yourself forward. Take the blocks to the side if you have them, and we will come up on the back left toes and simply step the left foot up to meet the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step the right leg back. Drop your right knee down, top of your right foot flat. Cat-cow the spine here. And again, blocks may be helpful on any setting. They're shaped as they are to provide 3 setting options. This is the lowest setting. And last round. Inhale, rise up, reach up, Anjaneyasana. Again, grounding down, extending through the fingertips, getting that big stretch for the front right hip flexor. One more inhale, and then on your exhale, shift back, half Hanumanasana. Again, a gentle flex of the left toes toward your face, a micro bend of your right knee, your head and neck release. Inhale, walk forward, set your blocks to the side if you have them, come up on the back right toes. Step your right foot up to meet your left, halfway lift and fold. Root down through your feet, inhale, rise all the way up. Take a side bend stretch to the right. Step your left foot behind your right, reach through your fingertips, kick your hips over to the left. Inhale up through the center and exhale, step the right foot behind the left this time, side bend. Inhale through the center, exhale, fold. Layering on here, we'll halfway lift. Step the right foot behind the left and fold. Bending the left knee gets into the outer right IT band, and this is a pretty classic stretch. So if you were a soccer player, basketball player, we did this in track as well. Several breaths, letting your head and neck go. Inhale, halfway lift, step your right foot back in line with the left. Exhale, step the left foot behind and bend into the right knee. Your hips will kick a little naturally out to the left side. Inhale. Halfway lift again, and this halfway lift is really important. It helps us engage our core. It lengthens our spine before we transition to another position. So don't take it lightly. Don't overlook it. A lot of what I see is rounding in the spine on that halfway lift. You're actually engaging and finding cow in the spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step the right foot back. Right foot steps back. And here we are in Anjaneyasana again. Skipping the cat-cows, we'll inhale straight up. Exhale, shift back, half Hanumanasana. Now, if this feels really fabulous in your left IT band, stay here. If you want to add on a little bit more, you can walk the left foot over to the right side and fold into this here. Inhale, come up. You'll heel toe your left foot back to the middle. We'll lunge forward, plant our right hand, and find a twist. A dragonfly twist is what this is called. And then open up fingertips. One more inhale. On your exhale, plant your hands, tuck your back right toes, step your right foot up to meet your left, halfway lift, and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift again. Exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot back. Left knee drops. Inhale, Anjaney. Exhale, half Hanumanasana. Again, option to stay or option to heel toe that left foot over to the right. Right foot over to the left. Fold. Inhale, walk your right foot back, bend back into your right knee, tuck the back left toes, step your left foot up to meet your right, halfway lift, Deep forward fold. This time we'll take peace fingers around big toes, bend the elbows out to the sides, and use upper body strength to deepen this hamstring stretch. 5 full breaths in here. If you're familiar with Ujjayi breath and haven't turned it on yet, you can start to valve your breath. This builds a little bit more heat in the body. Inhale, halfway lift. Release that bind, and we'll take a brief chair pose just to inform the quads of where we're headed, reaching long through the fingertips. Belly is engaged, up and in, really strong here to support the low back. You'll inhale, rise all the way up, and then on an exhale, we'll root down into the left leg and inhale the right knee up into the right hand. So here we have the right knee in the right hand. We're not getting much of a hamstring stretch. We are getting engagement in the hips. I'd like for you to dive down and grab the peace fingers around the big toe like we just did in our forward fold, and then bow over this right leg. Now if that is too challenging, you can grab the hands to the calf as an option. We are rounding the spine, but you want to feel this engagement here in the hamstring. And then inhale, you can bend the knee if you need to as you come up. Maybe the leg goes straight, and we'll take the leg out to the right. Again, the knee can be bent. We're breathing here into this shape. One more inhale, lift, and then on your exhale, find tree pose. So right foot comes into the left thigh, onto the calf, or toes to the earth. And we're here. I'm going to step back so I stay in the frame, holding our tree pose on the right side. Hands to your heart. Now, this is an active posture in the hips. We're taking the right knee back, pushing forward with the pelvis slightly. Maybe you inhale, extend the arms. Then on an exhale, bring your right knee back to the midline. Grab a hold of that right knee, and then we'll float the right leg back to step in a shallow stance. Left foot's forward, right toes turned on an angle. Going for a pyramid fold here. Inhale, reach your arms long. Exhale, bow over a micro bent left leg. Head and neck release. Several deep breaths. Again, keeping this left knee micro bent, rooting down into both feet evenly. Notice if the hips are square and even. If they're not, you may want to widen your stance. Inhale up halfway, maybe take a block underneath your right hand, and we will again find that halfway lift shape in the spine so it's nice and long, and then twist. Left hand can stay on the left hip. Inhale, extend left fingertips long. And then from here, we'll exhale and fold. Another engaging hamstring stretch, standing splits. Hands plant on the mat or on blocks. Lift your right leg, the back leg, and fold. One more inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold here. Root down and rise up to stand. Root down into the right foot. And from here, we'll step onto the right foot, lift the left knee. Again, binding here to the knee first. And then if the flexibility is there, you kick the leg straight, bind the peace fingers around the big toe, or you can dive down and fold this way. You may be all the way up here, that's okay. Breathing. And then maybe we bend the knee to lift the leg or keep it straight and open up out to the left. From here, we'll take it straight to tree pose, rooting down into your standing leg, and then find the variation that you did on the other side. Hands will come back to your heart, and then maybe extend the fingertips long. Inhale, hands back to heart. Bring left knee in, and then we'll step the left foot back. Again, hips width stance shorter, and we'll draw right hip back, left hip forward. Lift your chest. Fold over a micro bent right leg for a pyramid pose. Five full breaths here, rooting down evenly through both feet. And if you have a block or a book, you should be able to set it on your sacrum so that you can check the hips. Essentially what I often see is this action, a big skewing of the hips because the feet are not in alignment, and so the chest is not in alignment and so on. So we want to have a nice flat back here. Root your left hand down on a block, right hand to right hip. We twist and open. One more inhale. Exhale, release your hands to blocks or the floor and find standing splits. Left leg high this time. A really engaged hamstring stretch. The crown of my head is working toward the earth, my forehead toward my shin. I'm folding deeply as I lift. One more inhale. Exhale, release your left foot. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, sit low. Exhale, hands to heart, rise to stand. Coming here to two more standing balance poses before we take it down to the ground. So I want you to engage everything into the midline in this first one so that we can then release the outer hips, the glute medius. Root down into the left foot, lift the right leg like we did last time. This time cross your body, and you can actually take your left hand to your right knee. Bend left leg like you're in chair pose, and either root the right toes outside the left foot or wrap, taking eagle pose. You can wrap your eagle arms here, right arm under left. You can cross at the chest. Squeeze the top thigh into the bottom thigh. Sit low and keep your spine stacked. From here, we're going to straighten the left leg, take a figure four shape with the right leg, and sit down here in a standing pigeon pose. Breathing deeply. Take your energy of your tailbone back, chest drops, knee bends, big stretch, strong stretch for the outer right hip. Inhale, rise up, take your right leg with you. Exhale, release. So simply switch. Right foot roots down, left leg lifts, switch, cross the body, right hand to left knee, and then bend the right knee and sit into eagle. Again, option now is to cross opposite arms. So this time it would be the left arm that goes under, right arm over. And you sit low, or you find that eagle bind. It might be too much in your shoulders, and if so, simply taking this variation works to open the upper back. So really squeezing everything into the midline. We unwrap it all and sit here. I've also heard this called temple dancer. It's a nicer name than standing pigeon. Again, energy of the tailbone is back. So you actually want to find a little back bend action. My erector spinae, or the long muscles that flank the spine, are really engaged here. I'm lifting my chest, sitting my hips low. One more breath in. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, fold. We're going to make our way to a seat. And so a few options. If you have a traditional practice, Ashtanga practice, you can do your jump through, or you can simply drop down to your knees and swing your legs around. So always an offering to get fancy, but I'm going to keep it pretty simple for this one. Again, if you have blocks, or if you have a blanket that you can roll up under your knees, I recommend having the knees bent for this next series. So I'm going to take my blocks, but again, a thick or dense blanket kind of rolled into a hot dog shape works as well. Feet are hips width, gently flex the toes toward your face. Inhale, reach tall and feel all that length of the rib cage coming out of the spine. And then keep that as you release the arms, okay? So we've just extended here. We're going to start to round and fold and let the head drop last between the knees. Finding this nice, soft forward fold. And we're here for 5 full breaths. Inhale, rise up, take your props away. Slide your right foot into your left thigh, and we'll find this tree pose shape, also known as Janu Sirsasana. And so inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold over that straightened left leg. Head and neck release. Inhale, come up. Finding Baddha Konasana, or butterfly legs, to neutralize. We'll lift, drawing the belly up and in, and fold. Inhale, rise up. Straighten the right leg. Take the left knee into this tree pose shape. We'll inhale, lengthen, turn your chest toward your straightened left leg, right leg, and fold. Inhale, come up. Taking seated pigeon. I really like this one. It's a great modification as it's a little more intense than supine pigeon, a little less intense than full, or I should say half pigeon. So I've got my figure 4 shape. I'm pushing my left foot toward me, but my right foot toward me, but pushing my right knee away at the same time to really get into this hip place. You're not feeling anything in this, you can come to a relaxing half pigeon like the shape we did at the beginning of the class. We're simply going to take the feet wide now, neutralize here in the pelvis, and just swish the knees side to side. And I'm feeling the heads of the femur rotate in the hip socket, and then take it to the other side. Left foot this time onto the right thigh. My left foot energy is coming toward me. I'm gently activating the left knee away from me. I have a flex in my left foot as well. It said that protects the knee. I'm not 100% sure it does. If you do feel discomfort in your knee, take a supine pigeon. And I should have said that probably first, but here we are. And slowly unbind that, release. We'll find that little windshield wiper shape, but you need the feet wide, the knees together. And then take it onto your back. Rolling back, we'll hug the right knee into the chest. And then take that right leg long. The knee can be bent, okay? So you're here long with the right leg, breathing. I want you to relax your torso down. And then we'll cross the right leg across the body. You can scoot the hips over to the middle of the mat. If this is too much, you can bend that top right knee. Inhale. Back through the center, hug your right knee into your chest. Release the right foot down, slide the left foot to meet it, straighten your right leg, hug your left knee in, and then find this length of the left side. And then from here, we'll find that extension. Again, option to bend the left knee as you twist. This is just a great angle I'm showing you guys right now. And then we'll come back through the middle, plant the feet. From here, take a big breath in and squeeze everything in. Make yourself into a tiny little ball. And then you'll lie back for your Shavasana. So I'm going to demonstrate. It's a pretty easy pose. We lay back, corpse pose, palms face up, feet go mat's width. And before we get into it, just one last little nod to the experience of the heads of the femur in the hip sockets. We're just going to swish the feet side to side. I don't know if my feet are in the screen or not, but you get the idea. Take a big breath in, maybe tense everything up. Squeeze fists, point your toes, flex your quads, your arms, and release for your Shavasana. I encourage you to stay here for at minimum 3 minutes, all the way up to nap time if you'd like. So I hope you enjoyed our practice today. Any